Hello, it's January 11th, 2017, and this is a brand new episode of The Comic Hall. I'm your host, Dylan Lang. Excuse me. I host this show. I also host a show called Dylan Knows, which is on every Sunday and Saturday, Sunday, depending on my guest. My new episode will be on this next upcoming Sunday, so check that out. If you like this as well, check that out as well. Plus, I'm on a show called The Snooze, where I do it once a month, and that episode, first one of the year, is tomorrow, 9 o'clock, with me and Tony Solo. So, got a lot of stuff going on, but we're not going to be here to talk about that. Excuse me. We're here to talk about new comics. Today is Wednesday, January 11th, 2017, and it's New Comic Book Day. So, this is my Comic Hall, the show where I talk about the comics that I bought this week. And again, it looks like a lot, and it is a lot, but it's hard trimming it down, but I'm getting to it. I cut a lot out. Excuse me. I cut a lot out today that came up today. If you're interested in getting involved in the DC Universe Rebirth, the first set of Volume 1 trades have started coming out this week. It was Batman and Aquaman are out this week. So if you want to get caught up on the Rebirth books, go ahead and check those out. They came out in stores today. I didn't buy any because I don't need to. I didn't want to really read Aquaman. I have all the issues of Batman, so it's not a big deal. So if you're interested, go ahead and check it out. Get your start started. Give me 1 second. I just got to clear my throat here. There we go. Hopefully we won't have a problem anymore. Anyway, first up is Detective Comics number 948 begins the Batwoman Begins storyline, which is going to lead into the Marguerite Bennett, James Tynion IV Batwoman series, drawn by Steve Epting, coming out in a month or so. This one is written by James Tynion IV and Marguerite Bennett with art by Ben Oliver. So it's going to focus on setting up the Batwoman storyline and getting you ready for the Batwoman series. The artwork looks fantastic from Ben Oliver, and Batwoman is a fantastic character. So should be a lot of fun to check out. And I would highly recommend checking not only Detective Comics out right now, but also Batwoman when it comes out. So highly recommended. So check that at the beginning of the new storyline. It is Ladies' Night. That's the first one. Batwoman Begins. Another great series here. Did he draw it? Let me see. Is Superwoman number 6, written by Phil Jimenez, who does the art sometimes, but let me just see if he does the art this time. I can't find it right here. And then I'll show you some of the artwork. Script by Phil Jimenez, layouts by Phil Jimenez, finishes by Matt Santorelli. Jack Herbert did do some artwork. So Phil Jimenez is great artist. He's changing things up a little bit, but Superwoman is a fantastic series. Basically, the Lana Lang of the New 52 has Superman's powers, as what did the Lois Lane of the New 52, but she sadly passed away. And so we're getting a little bit of interesting backstory on certain characters. So fantastic. So I highly recommend Superwoman as well. That's what Lois looked like. Hopefully maybe somebody will be able to bring her back, but I'm okay with following Lana Lang as Superwoman because this is fantastic. So Superwoman number 6, check it out. Continuing our Ladies' Night theme, Wonder Woman number 14. This wraps up Nicola Scott's run on the book. She will be going back to doing her creator-owned book with Greg Rucka. That'll be coming out in a few months, I think. But this one is her last run. Wonder Woman is written by Greg Rucka, and the art on this one obviously is Nicola Scott. What they've been doing is since it's bi-weekly, they've been alternating storylines. One storyline that Nicola was drawing is Wonder Woman Year One, and the one that Liam Sharp is drawing is Wonder Woman the present day. So this wraps up the Wonder Woman Year One storyline, issue 14. Nicola Scott, which is basically only 7 issues technically, since she's only been doing 2, and she goes out with a bang. Gorgeous artwork, and Greg Rucka is doing a fantastic story. And Wonder Woman is a force to be reckoned with. So beautiful artwork. And Greg Rucka is doing a great job with the series. So kudos to Nicola Scott for hanging on for the first 14 or so, well, technically 7 issues, but hopefully we'll see her back on eventually. So that's Wonder Woman number 14. Greg Rucka isn't going anywhere, so don't worry about that. Also with Ladies Night, last week we showed you the Atom Rebirth as part of the Justice League of America. Well, this is Vixen Rebirth. Vixen is going to be a member of the new Justice League of America, written by Steve Orlando, and this is a rebirth which introduces us to her character. Nice artwork. It's written by Steve Orlando and Jody Halzer with art by Jamal Campbell. And just a great artwork and interesting introduction to the character. The character has appeared in the CW show, so I think it's one of the reasons why she's been picked for the Justice League of America, along with Killer Frost, who is going to get the rebirth treatment down the line also. And the Atom was on Legends of Tomorrow, so you're going to have a good group on the Justice League of America. Actually, we can take a look at it because the ad for it's in the back here somewhere. There it is. So you got Batman, who isn't on a CW show, but in the Ray isn't either. But you got Black Canary, who is, Vixen, who is, Lobo, who isn't, Atom, who is, and Killer Frost, who is. So a little bit. But this is Vixen Rebirth number 1. As I said, number 1, pick it up. And Justice League of America is going to be amazing, so check that out as well. Continuing Ladies Night, Supergirl number 5. Again, trying to not kowtow, but to connect it to the TV show. This is written by Steve Orlando with art by Brian Ching. So Steve Orlando is trying to do his own story, but at the same time is bringing a sensibility from the TV show in here as well. So good stuff. Again, more Ladies Night. Batgirl, Birds of Prey, number 6. This might have been, I almost didn't buy this issue, but it's Birds of Prey. It's Jody Benson. Hold on a second. Let me find that. It's Julie Benson and Shauna Benson, writers. Roger Antonio is the artist. And you get Batgirl, Black Canary, and Huntress all working together. So pretty cool. Checking it out. So Birds of Prey is always an interesting series, particularly with the characters that are in it. So Batgirl, Birds of Prey. Number 6. That's it for Ladies Night for DC aspect, kind of. But next up is Titans number 7. Is a one-shot between storylines written by Dan Abnett with art by Lee Weeks. It basically focuses on Wally West discovering that the Superman in this world now is the Superman that he knew as well from the previous DC universe. And this is their time to reconnect, as well as we focus on some of the other the Teen Titans as well, or the Titans particularly. It scared the hell out of me. Particularly Arsenal and Donna. So Titans number 7. This has been another excellent book as well. So check it out. Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps number 12. Again, not a big fan of Hal Jordan, but I like the Green Lantern Corps, and they've really been bringing back the other lanterns with a vengeance, i.e. here's your Orange Lantern right there. It's written by Robert Venditti with art by Ethan Van Sciver. And get the good Green Lantern Corps, and then you get some of the yellow lanterns in there as well, and you've got going up against the Orange Lanterns, and you get the White Lantern involved in it as well, bringing Hal Jordan back from Green Lantern Heaven, which was dumb anyway, but that's besides the point. And that's the end of everything. So Hal Jordan, Green Lantern Corps. I'm probably going to keep, even though I've been thinking about threatening not getting it anymore. I like the Green Lantern Corps. Robert Venditti does a good job writing it. Ethan Van Sciver is only one of the artists on it, but it's always Green Lantern show. The comics are always good. Next up is Deathstroke number 10. Again, one of those that I can't believe I'm still getting it, but I am, and I like it. Christopher Priest is the writer. Kerry Nord does the art this time around, and we're really getting a look into Deathstroke's life as we're getting to see both his son and daughter, which is really interesting. So it's a whole family affair. So Christopher Priest doing a fantastic job. Pick up Deathstroke number 10. All these are coming out. All these are out today. So pick them up today, tomorrow, this weekend, whatever. Again, was not going to collect this anymore, but it's the Flash number 14. They're starting a new storyline with the Rogues, and so it's, chances the Rogues are always good to watch. It's Joshua Williamson, writer. Carmine de Giandomenico is the artist. So that's the new Rogues. And Flash has always been an interesting character as well, but it's hard to get into the stuff sometimes. But I'm going to try because it's the Flash and I like the Flash. So, and it looks good. Artwork looks good. Story should be good. So Flash number 14 is out today. Again, another one that I thought I was going to get rid of soon, but I just keep getting drawn back into it because it is such a great premise. It's written by Scott Lobdell, though, but it's Red Hood and the Outlaws number 6. And Lobdell's done some good stuff before. And Dexter Soy's artwork is amazing, so it's fun to watch that as well. But it's just fun to see the circumstances of Bizarro and Artemis working together with the Red Hood, basically doing a dark trinity. You know, Artemis is the Wonder Woman part of it, Red Hood is Batman, and Bizarro is Superman. So it's fun to see them together as a group. So I may have to sit down and and read the books and get it. So good job. The crossover that's going on right now is Justice League vs. Suicide Squad number 4. That's a weekly book. I think it's going to be 2 more issues before we finish it up. The aforementioned Joshua Williamson, who was doing the writing in The Flash, is writing this. Arts by Fernando Pasarin with inks by Matt Ryan. So you're getting Justice League versus the Suicide Squad versus another Suicide Squad, and getting all kinds of interesting things going on. So again, it's a crossover. This is the main book for it, but they do have other crossovers in the regular comics. I did Justice League last week and Suicide Squad this week. I don't usually buy Suicide Squad, but since it's a crossover, I may as well check it out and get it. It doesn't say it on here because this is the variant cover, but it is connected to the Suicide Squad versus Justice League. Rob Williams and Cy Spurrier are the writers. Riley Rossmo is the artist. It's detailing the first Suicide Squad, which are the villains, who are the main villains of the Justice League versus Suicide Squad story. So definitely need to check that out because it is connected. And finally, the last of the DC Rebirth books, we have All-Star Batman number 6. As I said, I haven't been a big fan of this. Scott Snyder's writer. This is a new storyline. Takes Batman to Alaska to take on Mr. Freeze. So maybe it'll be different because we got Jock on artwork. And we also have a backup storyline written by Scott Snyder with art by Francesco Francavalius. I'll show you this. But yeah, it's some... Jock's always been interesting artwork, and to have him do a Scott Snyder Batman book, which is good because he worked with him on Detective Comics when Scott Snyder first came in and did Batman. and I enjoyed that storyline, so hopefully this one will work. The first storyline just didn't work for me for whatever reason, with Two-Face and all the villains after him, and John Romita Jr.'s arc, which is fine, but it just something about it just didn't get me. But this just looks creepy and atmospheric, and hopefully, you know, get Scott Snyder away from the Joker, because I'm sick of the Joker myself. And of course, then you get Francesco Francavalia's fantastic artwork. I wish he would do 1972 Batman like he's drawn some pictures of before. And I think it'd be great if we could see that, but I probably won't. But may as well want to check out. It's a brand new story arc, so you don't need to have read the first one, because that's what I think they're trying to do with All-Star Batman, is just do basically like what they did with Legends of the Dark Knight, which is take little storylines, same writer, but maybe different artists in there, and have them focus on different villains. I think a Poison Ivy story is coming up after this as well. So, and the stories might be different lengths. Like the first one was 5 issues. This one is issue 6, so it might only be a couple issues parts. So we'll see. Finally, the last DC book I did was one I was going to get rid of, but this book just keeps dragging me back in. It's Scooby Apocalypse #9, written by Keith Giffen and James DeMatteis. This issue is guest art by Ron Wagner and Bill Reinhold. And it basically takes the premise of Scooby-Doo, but instead of them, the teenagers chasing after people dressed up as ghosts, they're actually taking on an apocalyptic scenario, and all the characters are slightly different, and it looks like things get a little deeper near the end. I'm not going to show you that, but I was looking at some of the stuff there, so definitely worth it. And as I mentioned on my show last week, Dylan knows, the Flintstones has been named the socially aware comic of the year, because their storylines are very socially aware, talking about racism veiled under a humorous story with the Flintstones. I might have to pick up the trade on that just to read up on that. So we'll see what happens. That's it for DC. Marvel. Based Spider-Man Renew Your Vows #3. Jerry Conway, who wrote Spider-Man in the 70s, is back writing this story. Ryan Stegman's doing the artwork. It basically takes place in a alternate dimension, New York City, where Peter Parker is married to Mary Jane, and they have a daughter, and they all have superpowers, and how they're dealing with that. So this one appears to be focusing on Peter and MJ's daughter, but yes, Peter and MJ also have powers as well. So it's Spider-Man, old school Spider-Man, and it's Jerry Conway who wrote Spider-Man in the 1970s. So pretty cool, man. Speaking of Spider-Man, actually, I'm gonna skip that one. Speaking of Spider-Man, Deadpool #13. Joe Kelly, Ed McGuinness, Mark Morales, John Dell, and Ed McGuinness inkers. As I said, never been a real big fan of Deadpool, like the movie, but I like Ed McGuinness and Joe Kelly's story, and it's Spider-Man and Deadpool, so you get a little bit more of a bizarro feel to stuff. So, you know, we'll see what happens, but it's Spider-Man, Deadpool. Totally Awesome Hulk #14 by Greg Pak, art by German Peralta. That is Justin Lin, basketball player, is guest starring in this issue. And Totally Awesome Hulk is Amadeus Cho. One of the smartest people in the Marvel Universe, is now the Hulk and can control the Hulk more than Bruce Banner, and is now the Hulk. So this wraps up the Justin Lin storyline and sets up a new storyline, I believe, for next issue. So Totally Awesome Hulk #14. I talked about this one a while back, a couple weeks ago, because when it first came out, it's one of the most bizarre comics. That's why I wanted to buy it. The only problem is it's $4.99, but I had to keep buying it. It's Doctor Strange and the Punisher, Magic Bullets. That's 2 characters you would not think would work well together, but it's written by John Barber. Jason Murrah did storyboards, art by Andrea Brocardo and Dominique Dalmo Stanton. So, I mean, it's just a weird team up of Doctor Strange and the Punisher, but it's just so such a weird mashup that you got to pick it up and you got to buy it and check it out. So definitely worth it. Though the price tag is a little steep. I mean, it's a little bit thicker than the other ones, but still for $4.99, I don't know. That's it for Marvel. Continuing our Ladies Night theme. I got the Zero issue, and I was really excited for it. And I really wasn't going to get the regular series, but it was 25 cents for the Zero issue. And I started reading it. I was like, you know what, this is fantastic. And I'm also a guy, and she's hot, and it's Red Sonja #1. Again, this is like the third or fourth Red Sonja #1, but each time it has a new creative team on it. Marguerite Bennett has written it. Gail Simone has written it. I like to read some of their stuff, but now we got Amy Chu writing it. And the art is by Carlos Gomez. And the story is one that hasn't been done in a while, is Red Sonja in present day New York City. So how is she going to react to that? Nice artwork. Again, very cheesecake, sexy type of artwork, but Red Sonja is definitely not sex symbol. She'll kill you and kick your ass before you know it, what's going on. So I'm picking up this new Red Sonja series just because I like it. I almost didn't pick this one up, but I looked through it and I was like, I had to do it. When I worked at Diamond Comics, one of the guys that trained me as a brand manager was Philip Sablik, became a friend of mine. He has worked at on Image, not Image, it was the spinoff that did Witchblade and all that. I can't think of them right now. And then he moved on to Boom Studios, where he still works today. And Boom Studios has a new book out called The Deep. It's written by Tom Taylor. Art by James Brower, and it just looked really interesting. It looked like kind of a Disney type of story, but about like a family that lives under the water. So I had to check it out, read it, see if I like it. It's Boom Studios. I got to support my buddy, Philip, because he's one of the execs for Boom Studios, and it looks good. I mean, one of my favorite movies is The Abyss, you know, and ooh, here's creepy. And so I figured underwater, family, why not? The Deep #1 is out today. I would highly recommend checking that out as well. Because once again, comics aren't, there are all kinds of different comics, and I'm getting ready to show you a bunch of them, especially the independents. Moonshine #4, written by Brian Azzarello with art by Eduardo Rizzo, is basically takes werewolves during Prohibition. Again, two ideas you didn't really think much about, but it works because Azzarello and Rizzo work really well together, and it's quite an interesting story. So good artwork and good storyline. Moonshine #4. Shipwreck #3 is Warren Ellis and Phil Hester from Aftershock Studios, which does Animosity, Insects, Black Eyed Kids, and stuff like that, Alter, stuff like that. So it's Warren Ellis, it's Phil Hester, gorgeous artwork, bizarre stories. What more do you want, right? Kind of a horror-esque quality to it. So Shipwreck #3. Finally, final comic today is Green Valley #4, written by Max Landis with art by Giuseppe Camuncoli, and Cliff Rathburn is the inker. It's kind of a humorous medieval type of adventure, but it has its humor, but it's also got some, you know, it's a medieval storyline, so it's got some serious medieval stuff and some nice artwork from Giuseppe Camuncoli. So it's cool stuff, fantasy, stuff like that. You can't go wrong with that. Dragons and all kinds of crazy stuff. So it's only a 9-issue miniseries, so you know, read it. And that is it for tonight. This week's comic haul it is the end of Ladies Night. All these books, as I said, are available to buy today, as well as there's a bunch of other stuff out there that I didn't buy, including a lot of other ones that I had been collecting, but I stopped collecting to save money. My only recommendation is go to comic book store. Check it out. See if you can find something you like. A lot of places will have sales to get you caught up real quickly. There's lots of trades. Some stores have multiple issues, 3 to 4 issues previous to the new issues out on their shelves. You can buy for cheap, or you can have the back issues. And try to fill in the holes you have, or just check out what a comic book store looks like now. You might not have checked it out before, and you never know. So if you need to find a comic book store, go to the your search engine of choice and type in CSLS, which is the Comic Shop Locator Service. When you get to the website, type in your zip code, and it'll give you a list of all the comic books stores within about a 15-20 mile radius. So you go find one. If one's right down the street from you, like mine is right down the street from me, so it's like 5 minutes from here. It's fantastic. But if there wasn't that one, there's one about 20 minutes from here going that way. There's one about 35 to 40 minutes going that way. And there's probably a bunch of other ones I don't know, but those are just the ones I know about off the top of my head. So, but I'm lucky enough that my store is 5 minutes away, if that. So on that note, I'm going to say farewell. I'll see you next week. I think next week begins the Monsters Mayhem crossover in Marvel. I really don't think I'm going to get involved with that, but we'll see. Steve McNiv is doing the artwork. We'll see. Maybe I'll get just the Monsters Unleashed main book and not the follow-ups. We'll see. You'll find out next week when I do next week's Comic Haul. Tomorrow night, the snooze, 9 o'clock. Me, Tony Solo, talking about all kinds of stuff. And then Sunday, I'll be solo on Dylan Knows episode 173 or 173. So I'll be talking about all kinds of neat stuff as well. So take care, and I'll see you next week. Bye.